What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel, Adam's Arms. It's nights like this, you need a nice place to go and just get it off your chest. Get it out of your system and get it off your chest. Lovely to see you here. Thank you for joining me, Miss Melina, and lovely to see you, Rosie. And I don't know about either of you two. I guess Rosie, not so much you. It's not going to be a sad night for you. But for the rest of us Arsenal fans, tonight is, look, let's get straight to business. It's a shitty Saturday evening because I don't think any of us really thought we were going to go away to Bournemouth and lose. And the question is, and there's a lot of angry people out there. I've been trying to kind of tiptoeing between all the ranting, fuming people, just because, look, it is a shitty night. We can all agree that, right? And life gives you these days. And the question, of course, now is this a one-off? Is this an aberration? Or is this a symptom of a bigger problem? And are we about to crumble? Because for all the highs that we've had as fans, the obvious glaring inability to win silverware is a problem. Can't get away from that. And the reason we've not won silverware recently in the last 3 seasons is because at vital times, when you possibly least expect it to be a factor, our team, who give us otherwise so much to be cheerful for and so much to cheer for, suddenly just don't turn up. Suddenly they go missing. And I want to talk about why. Because is it an endemic problem? Because today looked like, hey, BX Gunner, Jose, great to see you. I told you, not now, Rosie, not now, please. We're all a little bit sad. Total shit show is fair, but why was it a total shit show? Good. It's not a visual show, this one, so much. I'm working on it, but good to have you here. So is this just something that Arteta can't seem to deal with? This game reminds me of the Villa game. It reminds me of Fulham and West Ham last season. Not so much Newcastle away and Villa away, which were annoying defeats, but we still played really well. But today it just felt, I was going to do a watch along this morning. I wasn't feeling it. And then I thought about doing a live watch along for the Arsenal game itself. And do you know what? From the very fact of us wearing that bubblegum kit, and I remember watching Mourinho in the tunnel coming out and thinking, poor sod, make your first full appearance, come out in that shirt. It's the shirt's fault. I'm telling you, it's cursed. But Arsenal fans, look, the reason it's difficult is, all right, you go down to 10 men at one of the bigger clubs. You have to settle for that. You have to defend. You have to be resolute. I think when it happened at City, we were defending a lead and totally understood it. Didn't have a problem with it at all. But ultimately, we're away to Bournemouth. We can't come out of this with a defeat, and we sat back and invited too much pressure. And I don't think it was. Let's get straight to the meat and bones about this. Like that red card, no one thinks that was a harsh red card. I don't think. I think anyone who's looking at objectively goes, yeah, I've seen those given. To be honest with you, it's a stupid thing that Saliba does. And I mean, come on. William Saliba has given us so much. You can't be angry with him for a stupid mistake. It reminds you just how young he is. I'm going to go through some of these messages. Good evening, everyone. Beautiful. We played 3 CDMs without creativity, I think you mean. Yeah, we did. And I'm going to get to that. Too soon. Yes, too soon. Too soon. None of us are well. What do you mean football aside? There is no football aside. Anyway, today was disappointing because it felt like we just defaulted to that, defensive shape. And that seems to be what we do. And it's the third time this season we can talk about a defensive record. We could talk about the red and yellow card situation all we want. Is this just something we have to put up with? And is this why we're not winning leagues, these exact games like this? Because be honest, Manchester City, managed by Pep Guardiola, go down to 10 men for something similar, and they never seem to. But let's just hypothesize that it was possible. You still fancy them to win that game. You still think, even down to 10 men, I think Pep Guardiola would probably have put Bournemouth away today. And I genuinely think they're going to beat Wolves tomorrow, but it's football. It might not be the case. They may have a little falter down the line. I don't think it's over yet. But I think the reason so many people are so sad about it is because it's an abusive relationship, in the sense that we think we've seen the last time that Arsenal can make us feel this shit by playing like strangers. And then when you least expect it, they will do it again. And is that just part of Mikel Arteta's naivety? He's still new to the job. There are lots of people right now shouting for Arteta's head. And there are some hopefully more reasonable people that are asking these questions, that are saying, look, what do you think is true now? Are Arsenal title contenders, or do we have a little bit of Spursiness in us? Is there a little point where, when we fell apart at home to Brighton 2 seasons ago, it felt like the pressure had just been there all season, that we'd been top of the table, not been expected to be there. Then, people called it bottling. They said, these young people, and I felt that was harsh, because I think that it's part of learning and growing is having these experiences, these shitty experiences. And on that, yes, tonight was a really bad experience, but even good seasons have those in them. I'm surprised just how much of a meltdown I've seen in some parts, because it's the 8th game. Yeah, all right, we're not going to be invincible. And that's annoying. But if I go back to the title winning seasons, I remember 89, obviously there were a bunch of crappy results towards the end. We thought we'd blown it. It was awful. An 18-year wait for another title, blown against a team that was never going to let us, a team that was never going to lose to us. And we somehow did it in 89 when only the very few believed. And in 91, we had a crappy day against Chelsea. But for that defeat away to Chelsea, which was shitty and really out of the blue, we would have been invincible in 91. Then there's that obviously cup period until Wenger comes in. But in December 97, we lose at home to Blackburn 3-1. And that was a shitty moment. And the bookies even paid out. They said it couldn't. Arsenal was so far behind that they already paid out. Paddy Power paid out. No one's paying out now. No one is paying out. No one is sure we're not going to win the title yet. But today is difficult for us, Arsenal fans, because of the memories it evokes. I'll need to speak to the others, but it's not too late to start supporting Rangers and leave Arsenal behind. Oh, no. Now. I can't imagine what sequence of bad days would lead me to that decision. But today, I picked a hell of a day to give up drinking. It is just shouty out there, isn't it? Where's this anger coming from? Really, people losing it, which is a surprise to me. I'm just disappointed. It's just, it's not the kind of, I don't know. Football for me has never been the lose your shit shouting hours after the game kind of thing. It's always been that finding out someone you love cheated on you kind of feeling if it gets to this. Morricone. Yeah. Morricone, royalty-free Morricone. Yes. Yes. So how do you get over the disappointments you face today? What is your, you done any shouting? Who you're angry with? I think the general rule with football, game played by 11 people, less than a team after all. If one or two of them have a bad day, you can lose. and then you can kind of forgive the manager for that. But if 8 or 9 of them have a bad day, something went wrong in the dressing room, something went wrong with the selection. I want to look at the selection because I want to hear from you. What did you think of tonight's starting lineup? Tonight's starting lineup was my initial reaction, and all you can go by is your gut feel, right? You can talk yourself into anything. I was glad that he gave Sterling a chance. I thought we've seen glimpses of Raheem, and I personally want to see him come good. Half our first team out, we're not City, we can't get through it when we're that short. Yeah, and I totally get that. Welcome, Dazzler82, by the way. I'll make you right. But then it's disappointing, isn't it? So we do have to talk about this. I know Turkish was talking about this. Does it make you look back at our summer transfer window and think we should have done better? You know, because the last thing you want is to be missing Martin Odegaard, right? I get that because he is the captain and he is the creative player in the team. But there's nobody behind him except the 17-year-old who, let's be honest, I thought looked like one of the better players. I know he didn't have long, but I thought he was one of the bright sparks. I didn't think he looked like materially worse than Trossard today. Everybody wants to blame people. First of all, let's be honest, that was a red card. We would expect it to be given. We would expect to, if that had been the other way around, we'd expect to see a red card. So we have to accept that. It is just, Miss Molina felt like Partey, Havertz were the better players who tried hard today. Yeah, I always have a lot of time for Kai Havertz at the moment. And it must be really tough for any. I think it's tough for any striker if you find yourself in 8 matches, having 3 of them be where you're down to 10 men, and not just for 10 minutes. Down to 10 men for 60 minutes, down to 10 men for an entire half. Just deeply, deeply frustrating to see the red card given, but the disciplinary record will now come into question. And I think that's fair because, you have 3 red cards in the first 8 games and something's wrong. Like, do I think that Declan Rice should have been sent off? No, not sure. Trossard should have been sent off either, but I could tolerate it. Tonight, there's no argument. So if you looked at it like that, I don't know. Our disciplinary record under Arteta isn't the best. But we want fight and determination, don't we? That's what we want, don't we? Today, just a shitty day. The lineup definitely felt. Do you mean? But the refereeing today, we can't blame the referee today. He gave a yellow card when he gave Saliba a yellow card. I thought he was really lucky. Honestly, I thought he was really lucky. But then you do think, and I know I'm not an expert on VAR, right? I'm not an expert on referees and VAR. But why? It's a yellow card. I thought you couldn't do anything about it. It just drives me mad. Sometimes VAR can intervene, and other times, oh no, can't do anything about a yellow card, second yellow card, can't do anything about that, can't appeal that. But he's given a yellow card, which is not a terrible decision. You think some people, it's the wrong decision, but he gives a yellow card, and then VAR has to jump up and make sure that he goes and looks at it again in freeze frame with a superimposed hammer in Saliba's hand. Does no good losing your mental after a game. All about how you respond next match. Exactly. I think there's a brilliant TikTok doing around speech that an acceptance speech. He obviously got an honorary degree somewhere, but Roger Federer gave, and he was saying how he won 80% of his professional tennis matches, but he only won 55% of the points in each of those matches. So even one of the top professionals of all time is only winning just over half of his points. And I guess you have to, as a champion, you have to be able to, he was saying, he basically was saying that if you miss a point or if you lose a point, you've got to put it behind you really quickly. Hopefully, Jose, that's what we're going to do. But we didn't do that when we lost to West Ham last year. And so everyone's looking to us to see if we've improved. What was it Arsenal fans were cracking up about? Someone wearing a headset. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, anything. Like there are Arsenal fans out there. Like every fan base has its extremes, and there'll be people out there going, "Oh, it was a terrible refereeing decision." I don't think it was. I think it was fair. No comment. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. But it is what I said it already. You're like, Man City wouldn't have lost that game. We lost that game because we decided to act as if we were 1-0 up against City. And last year, the criticisms, as with the year before of Arteta, might have been that he doesn't make substitutions quickly enough. That was today. He doesn't trust the young players enough. That was today. But he did make changes, and he didn't stick with an obvious 11. We do have some injuries. Teams get them. We had more than enough to beat Bournemouth, but the team that was put out wasn't the right one. Completely unbalanced 11. Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Like, it isn't even. I think for most of us, someone acting as official. I haven't seen this yet. I probably, like most people, I didn't even watch the interviews. I watched the Declan Rice interview later. I turned it right off. I'd like to have turned it off as soon as we went down to 10 men. Plenty of twists and turns. Should have gone for a draw. Better than now. Totally. Going for a draw, though, leaves you open to suffering a defeat. That's the problem. If you're not going to go at teams, and you're just going to have to absorb them. And without Saliba, obviously Kivior was a mistake, given the manager that. Hey, Mr. Arsenal podcast, Rosie Howard-Webb was in the stands wearing an earpiece, and Michael was shown to the world whilst the bar check was taking place. So you think he was like, you got to send him off. You know what? If you were writing this as a goody-baddie story, like the Man City would be bribing referees in our games, and that's how they'd make sure. But no, look, Saliba should not have pulled. That's just a fact. Nothing you can do. Yeah. Talk about when you need someone who knows what they're talking about. Eh? Thank you, Mr. Arsenal podcast. If you can hold us, then you can easily. Oh yeah. You know what? I thought we nearly beat you. Just like I said, I don't see Man City going off to Bournemouth, going a man down to Bournemouth and losing the way that we did. It is sickening. Also, VAR official today in our game is a Liverpool fan. Okay. I mean, but be honest. When it was a yellow card to start with, was that a fair result? We're all going to talk about the red card all the time. Some of us have got just nothing else to talk about now. I'm guaranteeing that the red card, but I think for most intelligent Arsenal fans, we go, the red card wasn't the whole problem, because the whole problem, I think, Jose, you sort of started talking about this. Let's talk about it. That lineup. He was quoted as defending himself tonight in the paper, said he didn't have anything to do with Saliba being sent off. Yeah. I mean, well, look, all I'm saying is that, was I disappointed that VAR instructed the referee to go and have a look at it? Yeah, I was, because I thought we got away with one. Not because I didn't think it was a sending off. I wasn't apoplectic. I was just, it's one of those eyes rolling kind of moments, isn't it? What is Trossard doing? I want to talk about Trossard, because you can blame Saliba or we can blame Trossard. And I'm not here to blame anyone, but let's not all go in on Saliba. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. But then, look, the reality is we all know why he did it as well, because sometimes we forget how young he is, and sometimes you're reminded. Not often, to be fair, but you are reminded, right? And that was a stupid, impulsive, instinctive thought. He did it too quickly to have given it a lot of thought. And yeah, on reflection, he should have just let, bearing down on the keeper is usually a goal. Not always. Just ask Martinelli, right? Just ask Martinelli why he didn't score when he really should have done. Disappointing from Trossard today. Disappointing from William Saliba. we've seen that foul happen numerous times to see a yellow. Why was we treated differently? I don't know. I honestly looked at it. We obviously disagreed, but when I saw it, I thought, oh, he should walk for that. Last man. I can't think of any times where I would have, if that had been happening to Evan Nilsson the other way around, I would have expected, listen, red card for me. We was both, there we agree, and that's the most important thing. We didn't look that great before. I mean, we looked sluggish, but the feeling I got was that this was a team that didn't really know each other yet. I mean, you look at it, you're missing Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli from the starting lineup, and you've got Kai Havertz playing up front with Marino playing his first full game. It just, honestly, it just felt like strangers playing out there. Thomas Partey, for me, has had some good games recently, Southampton and Tottenham. But today, for me, he looked like every pass was going laterally or backwards when we were at, 11 each. No, I didn't know it was terminal. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that is awful. Oh, thoughts to Chris Ware and his family. Saliba out for the Scousers could do with you beating them. Yeah, I still think we could beat them. I still think we can beat them, but this is, it's the worst. It's probably the worst game coming up that we could be without him. Where we really need him, and that comparison between in our centre backs and your centre backs is kind of not going to get tested now in the same way. No, yeah, that's that 82. I completely agree with that, right? So it's a decision to overturn it. How many times have you seen that? Every time it's the first and last. Yeah, do you know what? I'll give you that. I was surprised that it was a yellow card, but then I was probably more surprised that the VAR got involved, because you thought, well, why get involved? Martinelli had an injury on international break. Shouldn't, no doubt you can't start Martinelli. I wasn't expecting him to start Martinelli. I think for me, for what it's worth, hopefully something. Smash a like. Everyone, smash a like quickly. Ghost is it's just a tough time to see all right. Hold that. Best centre back in the world. I told you about Saliba, this guy without the 4CP and 3DM around him. Okay, we smoked West Ham. You did. It made my day even better to know how well Tottenham had played. Brilliant. Martinelli is a scrub. Yeah, you started to go off the. You're doing well there for a moment. The lineup, when you look at it, should we have done better in summer? Should we have gone and got players that we needed? I mean, we were linked with some really exciting players. There's a link now. I mean, there's still rumours for the January transfer window. Can anyone really say they want to start talking about the January transfer window already? We have so many games before that would do us any good, if it did us any good. Would you have started that lineup? I mean, for me, it just felt like you could have. I don't know. Lost. For me, Trossard hasn't played that well. You know what? There is a point here. I want to talk about Trossard, because a little bit ego creeping in there, is there? I think maybe because he didn't, felt like he was happy for Saliba to get the blame on that one. When, let's be honest, that was a terrible pass. That was a crazy pass, puts Saliba right in the shit. Saliba should have probably handled it better, but doesn't. And then that's where we are. That's just Trossard, when he comes off, looks like he's unhappy to come off. When you kind of think, he hadn't. I thought one of the big difficulties for me was when he took Sterling off, because Sterling had a couple of moments. He'd had a couple of really interesting moments, right? Jinking around, thought he was brilliant. Not brilliant, but then he had these couple of moments where he tried too hard. And there was, I think the reason that we saw Sterling make way today is part of a bigger problem at our club, almost. Let me see if I can prove that. Look, on the one hand, Sterling gave us more going forward, but he was jogging back. He wasn't tracking back at all. And I think when Arteta was thinking about being down to 10 men, he didn't want somebody like Sterling drifting around, not getting involved. Fair enough. I get that. But you are taking off a credible attacking threat. And the reason that Sterling doesn't drift back is because his whole game, as far as I know, is about being in the right place at the right time, being a devastating finisher, or having a knack to finishing. So you're not necessarily scoring special goals, but they're special goals. So to take him off, Kai Havertz is always the same. He's a hard-working team player. I like so much about his game, and I'm really glad he's one of ours. But in these situations where we're down to 10 men, it just felt a little bit like Kai Havertz was going to be not going to be the outlet, and he wasn't. And we just, of course, you miss Odegaard, of course, you miss Saka, and you can make excuses about it. But then there's also, that the back four's been tinkered around with a little bit, hasn't it? Ben White's back, I think, obviously to do with an injury to Timber. Do you not think we win that with 11? I was worried we weren't going to. From the first 20-something minutes, I was worried that we just didn't look like we were going to, like, you can't be going away to the Vitality Stadium and hoping to nick it 1-0, really. You've got to have more about you than that. And I totally get the match after the international break, few injuries here or there. This team's still not gelled together yet, which is really frustrating because this is our third season in, we believe, a title race, because we might not be, if we fall apart. But people are really angry. And I understand why they're really angry, because it feels like it did against West Ham and Fulham. Are we sending them off to Dubai for a short break after the Shakhtar game? A couple of days before they come back for Liverpool? No, we're not. We don't know when Odegaard's back, but apparently not too far off. We don't know how serious Saka is, but the way Arteta was talking about Saka in a press conference, I honestly thought he'd play. So, and I'm not the only one. Who else thought he was going to play? So the bigger question, though, it's worth discussing, is this a sign are we going to start to crumble? Because I've seen on TalkSport, Jamie O'Hara has apparently said that Arsenal are already crumbling, and I think that's a bit premature. But certainly, Liverpool and Man City winning tomorrow is not what we want. Goes without saying, doesn't it? Absolutely goes without saying. Do you not think that we win that with 11? I absolutely. It's a game you have to win, right? When you look at the team that was suddenly scoring 5s and 6s every week away, that was clearing out stadiums at half time, that football is so about confidence. It's like the most important ingredient. Yeah. Do you know what? You need people like that, though. He's the anti-hero, isn't he? He does. Both Cundy and O'Hara are not exactly people whose opinions I would rush to hear, but you notice them, and I think there are lots of people saying lots of things about Arsenal and expecting us to be a certain way. And some of us are. Some of us are literally losing our shit right now. Apoplectic with rage, furious. I get it. I totally get it, by the way. Why wouldn't you be? Lose your shit, kick the television, lean over the balcony of your housing estate and shout at the neighbours. I've lived through it all. But it doesn't change anything. It's too early. I think one defeat. What kind of a fan base are we if we can have a really good start to the season, 7 games start to the season. Not bad, you know. In fact, we went down to 10 men, bloody irritating. I didn't think Rice should have been sent off. I was hot on the fence about Trossard, so I felt a little hard done by. Winding up Arsenal fans gets you clicks. Yep. That's it though, isn't it? That's what I tell you what would get me clicks if I wanted them right now. If I want these kind of clicks, you just go, it's a fucking disgrace and Arteta's kicked my cat and he stole my grandmother and he's another thing. You know, it's just like, it's easy to kind of, actually, you know, I think on some level you get into character and you really enjoy it, you know, and I'm sick and tired of this and I'm fuming. It's like, what are you sick and tired of? Everybody's sick and tired of it. Like, we're all pissed off. It seems to be that, like, now everybody's competing. Like, there's a virtuous, you know, like the virtue is in who screams the loudest, who is the angriest. Ain't me. I'm just disappointed. It's just that kind of day. You know, like life has these days in it. Not every day is a good day. And you kind of measure yourself by how you deal with bad days, not the good days, because most people can handle a good day, right? Kind of fan base do we want to be? Do we want to just be this angry without, you know, do we want to be a mob? Do we want to be a baying mob of Arsenal fans who can all vent their anger and frustration, take it out on the families and, you know, whatever? Or we can just go, right, what went wrong here? And like, I hope that it doesn't happen again for sure, but know that it seems to happen regularly. Maybe the problem is we do just need to win something, any bloody thing, right? Because you can't. On the one side of the debate, obviously, is the people who ravenously want to see, they're rabidly anti-Arteta. And okay, I'm not, you know, people I know very well, people I like very much feel that way. That's absolutely, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't necessarily share it, so we can talk about it. We don't need to shout. Right now, it feels like when those people, like Kyle, when he was on the show, say that Arteta will never win anything, you do kind of worry, you know, it could just be bad luck. Maybe it is a failing because let's be harsh. Let's be anti-Arteta for a minute and say what seemed to happen today was those players went out there without enough enthusiasm or of an idea of what to do. And that's the manager's fault. That the lineup didn't work. And, you know, he's picking the team. That beyond that there isn't the confidence on the bench still another season to know what to do, when to mix it up. But, you know, does bring on he brings on Martinelli for Trossard. But again, you know, even that felt late. It felt like Trossard wasn't gonna. Well, Trossard for me was having a poor game. I think Ben White had a poor game. Don't know if he's fully fit. Leandro Trossard. Everybody has an opinion on Trossard because, well, look, there's a good point. I felt Trossard kept giving the ball away. Yeah, he did. I mean, he absolutely did. But we definitely lacked a creative thrust. The problem everybody has is if you lose or draw, they think it's the end of the world. I know. And I get it. This was not going to be an invincible season, and I secretly hoped it was going to be. It's not going to be invincible, but then, you know, that's okay. As long as we win, something. We've got some tough games coming up. We definitely didn't have a cutting edge, and Kai was left by himself often. I totally agree with that. It's exactly where we just didn't turn up today. And I thought that of the two players, I think for me, Sterling looked the likelier to create something. And I actually, even though it was kind of pointless by the time he came on, I actually thought Gabby Jesus looked pretty decent. and was like winning his, for me, it looked like he had more energy about him than we saw from Trossard. Arsenal now have to win a Premier League that's true though, isn't it? It is time. You can't, being the team that didn't do it that first year when no one expected us to do it, we bounced into this next season. I was confident. We had a really good transfer window, obviously. And everything looked on the up and up for the start of last season. And then things did go wrong, but it was really, like I keep saying, there are days where you turn up or where we just don't seem to turn up. And they're the days that are killing us. They're the games that you might not have many of them in the season, but 2 or 3 is too many, right? Because there's still a possibility we go away and lose to Newcastle. And you can't be that upset about it. Although Newcastle is having a really tough time at the moment. Probably a bad example. But, Chelsea are not, and we play them. Liverpool obviously are top of the league, and we play them. So we played some tough games. We have only one defeat. All right, it's not the team you would expect us to lose to. We are still in the title race. And I expect we will go on a bit of a mini run. But it's possible, but we just don't know, do we? Because on the one hand, like I keep saying, you've got people who want Arteta out and who say this is a symptom of a bigger problem at Arsenal, that it encapsulates us not buying properly in the summer transfer window. It has to do with us not putting a squad together that's fit to challenge for a title, because you can't think that our squad is fit to challenge for a title. I mean, Man City last season only beat us by 2 points, but they were missing Kevin De Bruyne for a huge chunk of that. And what if we lost Odegaard for as long as Man City lost Kevin De Bruyne? We'd be screwed. I get it. Look, Ethan Nwaneri's 17 years old. You don't want to put your faith in a 17-year-old. But what happened to if you're good enough, you're old enough? He looked good out there. I don't know what we're protecting him from. How soon Odegaard is back. How long we might be without Bukayo Saka still. Yeah, and Haaland, of course. So Man City's squad. Social Joy, it's great to see you. Very, very long season. We're going to struggle. This guy's default mold is Moyes football. Yeah. Definitely, we have the one way of playing at the moment when we're down to 10 men. And that's, that's pointless. We've got to, I'm not saying go full Ange Postecoglou mode, but maybe don't take off Sterling. Would you have taken off Sterling? Yeah, no, I don't. I think we must do. Yeah, Timber start. Does Timber start for you on the left, or do you start him instead of Ben White? Because Ben White didn't look quite himself. I mean, how long has Ben White not played football for, though? Right? Trossard's no longer an exterior player. Not got the legs for it. The lineup was strange. We broke up too many partnerships. I want to see Jesus on the wing. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep. All bloody good points. Point of the day. I'm giving that a star. Absolutely can't disagree. Who disagrees with any of that? Trossard's no longer. I don't think he's an exciting exterior player anyway. He hasn't got the legs for it. The lineup was strange. I agree wholeheartedly with that. Partey, Rice, and Marino in the midfield does leave you wondering, doesn't it? We broke up too many partnerships. Absolutely. Although, now we've got Ricardo Calafiori is the de facto left back. So him and Gabriel. Declan Rice just seems to be having to cover too much ground. But I thought of all the players, I might say I like Declan Rice the best tonight. Hang on, let me catch up. You guys have been busy. Sterling knows how to do it. I completely agree. Saliba duck the Konate test. Yep. Sadly true. He brought on Kivio and then subbed him. That tells you how wrong. Yeah. And I don't know if it's possible to make a defense for a substitution if you then substitute them. Sterling tried to create 3. Yeah, I really liked Sterling. He was one of the bright things about the first 20 odd minutes, but so sick when he comes off. Yeah, I completely agree with that, Miss Molina. I think you're absolutely right that Trossard was the liability and the one that looked least like to get in the game. And you've got Martinelli on the bench as well. Against Liverpool, Calafiori, Timber, White and Gabriel, because Saliba is suspended, Zinchenko is a bit of a liability at times. I think you're right, again, but the only thing I would add to that is we don't know that Calafiori isn't a bit of a liability at times yet. This guy has a mistake in him. We literally can only play for half an hour. We play defensive and still conceded. Why bother defending? 100%. Like, exactly. At least at I'm not saying it's hard. Of course it's hard, but we are aiming to win the Premier League title, and it is that level of difficulty. That level of difficulty is getting points away to Bournemouth, even when the chips are down. But also, whose fault is this disciplinary record? Is it just a coincidence? But, you know, one red card could be a grievance against, you know, the FA or PGMOL. 2 red cards is either a conspiracy or you take some responsibility for it. 3, I honestly think that Saliba should have been sent off by the referee. The fact that he went to VAR is annoying and unnecessary, and it would have been nice if they'd said, "Oh, we want you to look at this," and he'd gone, "Yeah, I've seen it. I was here. I was staring at it. It happened in front of me." You know, that's the thing you never hear on VAR, isn't it? It's always like they make you go and look at it. Like, oh, I think you slow it down, and you know, it's just it is what it is, right? Your approach to bad news defines your experience of life more than anything else. My process here is to be just, I'm flat. I feel flat. Someone cheer me up. I feel I'm negged out by it because, you know, you go, I really support this team. And by that, I know we all do, but by that, I mean, I like these players. I like this manager. And the kind of civil war going on between Arsenal fans is not necessary. It's not necessary for one side to call out anyone who's not frothing at the mouth because we're the problem. Like, there's nothing more triggering, I think. Tell me now how you feel. I want to know how you feel on this one. Is there anything worse than watching your team just not turn up against Bournemouth, play sloppily, make silly mistakes? Because, you know, Vieira giving the ball away, it was like someone had been passing around the joint before kickoff. It was a bit like, oh, it's only Bournemouth. Go on then, let's have a toke. You know, that's what it felt like. And you don't want that, really. I want 38 games of every game. You know, like, I don't see Tony Adams and Patrick Vieira allowing that. But then, you know, our captain's out and our vice captain's out, and Declan Rice speaks really well, but he doesn't seem to be in a shout there. Maybe he will be. I thought he was probably our better player. But, you know, it's not really saying a lot, is it, if you're one of the better players today? It was a shit show. It was a shit game. Boring. Really boring. Like, watching the second half against Man City was mostly just boring. Kind of kudos to Bournemouth for being able to beat us and all. I don't know. It just feels like there's some shitty results as an Arsenal fan, and you know the phrase that will come up. Someone will say it. Tell me if you haven't already seen this. It's the hope that kills you. No, it's not. It's not. It's not the hope that kills you. It's just hoping and being positive and still believing that we can win the title is a better experience of football than shouting at the screen, going, I need changes. I want people sacked for doing something I've never done and I wouldn't know how to do. Just, you know, like, just where did the anger come from? I guess it's a difference in age. If I'm honest, I think it's an age gap thing. I think a lot of younger fans modelling behaviours they've seen on social media as appropriate behaviour. You wouldn't see that on the terraces. You know, I would say even in the away fans, there's going to be a lot of very, very upset fans travelling back from Bournemouth. Well, obviously they'll be back by now, but they'll, but I don't think there'll be any screaming and shouting. I think when you see someone screaming and shouting hours after the game, like they've personally been insulted or lost something themselves, that's something else, isn't it? That's not really just the game. This was, I think, most Arsenal fans. Miss Molina, how did you feel? Were you shouting? Were you raging, or did you just feel a bit? Is it like a punch in the stomach? Really, that's what it's a gut. It's like, oh God, And I think the most disappointing thing was just didn't look like we could get back into this game. After they scored, I really didn't. It wasn't one of those where I thought we can still do this because the team showed us so little. And I'll go back to it, like I was saying earlier. If one or two players are out, then you can't really blame the manager. But if it's 11 out, who had a good game for us today? Genuinely, who had a good game? Not, maybe I think Declan Rice had a good game. I thought Mikel Merino looked decent, honestly. But it's a lot to ask, isn't it? To just get chucked in and not know it's not even like you're chucking Merino into a spot that you bought him for. We didn't buy him to beat Odegaard. Maybe the fact that neither Declan Rice nor Mikel Merino can do that means you do have to have somebody on the pitch. Maybe the lineup is completely wrong. I don't think anyone's really upset. Let me know in the comments if you're upset that we played Calafiori, Ben White, Saliba and Gabriel. I don't think that was a bad lineup at the back. It's been strange seeing us chop and change our back four when the back four at the start of the season was doing so well. But obviously, some of that's to do with enforced changes. People were talking about bringing Alexander Zinchenko on at halftime. I don't know if I was thinking that. But go down to 10 men when we do. I didn't really believe. When the penalty was given, it was a penalty as well, wasn't it? I mean, at that point, it was a little bit just like, oh, look, everyone's had a shit day. Shit day at the office, aberration. These things happen. Wipe yourself off, get on with it. That's how fighters get hit. It's what they do when they get hit. We're in a really tough fight because Man City are not going to give us, a chance, really. They're going to carry on. But I still think they have a wobble in them. They still have a wobble in them. Not that I feel that they'll. I mean, no, I'm not. I don't know if I should. You just don't know, because I remember when City beat us and then lost to or drew with Forest. There we go. So the Jesus looked like he was playing in midfield. We used to put Sterling up top many times. Yeah, do you know what? I really frustrating to see him go off. And he didn't look like he made a fuss about it either. The only game we played well was PSG for half an hour, then defended a whole half a time with 2-0 lead. Why are we all defending all the time? We don't even counter-attack well. We don't. You're right. I'd agree with that. I don't know. It's that kind of 1-0 to the Arsenal mentality. Yeah. The match is all Arteta. The setup game plan was all wrong. Bournemouth was well prepped and done their homework. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I don't know who I would play differently. Looking at it at the start of the game, I thought, well, if Martinelli's on the bench, then it can only be that he's not quite fit enough to play 90 minutes. But then, is he going to come on? Of course, he did come on. But be honest, nobody, all right, did anyone think when Saliba got sent off, you knew that Arteta was going to take somebody off? I thought it probably would be Sterling. Honestly, I thought it was a mistake. Then he came off, but the whole Jakub Kiwior, Did anyone think Jakub Kivior was the right player to come on there? Why was Kivior the right player to come on there? Oh, maybe he was the right, but I don't know. It just felt like Kivior. How did we end up with Kivior? Bloody hell! At that point, maybe it does just make more sense to bring on Zinchenko. Surely it makes more sense. Calafiori inside. God, I don't know. It is how we lose that pisses us off. And it's a really difficult balancing act because we don't lose that often. So we don't get pissed off that often, but we're pissed off tonight. No question about it. People are, like I said, people elsewhere angry and frothing at the mouth. Come into the Adams Arms, keep yourself warm by the fireplace. All are welcome. There's no shouting going on here. Arteta needs a plan B. He does, very much so. Can he spend some time with Pep so he can nick one of his off him? Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I do think you're right, Miss Molina. No, I wasn't shouting or raging. That's past my time and age. I'm more mature than that. I was disappointed, but got to respond now against Shakhtar. Yeah, 100%. We're on the same page then. I think you, like I was saying, any great sportsman or anybody who engages in an activity that you do sometimes lose. It's what you do when you lose. Because if City lose here, you expect them to bounce back and thrash Shakhtar and Liverpool and Chelsea. And can we do that? Maybe this is the fire in the belly. Maybe Arteta does learn something tonight. I think he's stubborn, and you need to be. But there are times where he's stubborn and he's quite obviously wrong, and it's obvious to everyone but him. I felt Party Rice looked good today. I didn't think Party looked good today. Sorry, Party Rice and Kai. It does like... yeah, I a lot of time for Kai Havertz at the moment. My goodness, look who's arrived. Clothes on, I hope. Zanzibarbarian. I didn't know you were live tonight. As for the game, I wasn't. This is what many in the YouTuber sphere would call an emergency lock-in. We're having an emergency lock-in. I just know that wherever we are, this is the Adams Arms must be open for people. Hostelry, an auberge for the downtrodden who've experienced a loss for the first time in bloody ages, be honest. Marino should have not played. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he looked quite good. I don't know, but not in a position he was in. Melina is articulate and why she doesn't need to raise her voice to make a point. It'd be great to see you, Dan and Melina, do a stream together. Absolutely, anytime you want to. Absolutely. You know, we were down bad desperate when people were asking for Zinchenko. Yeah. Yeah, totally. But I like Zinchenko, so that's not fair. You can always the laugh obviously means that I don't like him. Yeah, it is desperate. It's desperate. We need Nico Williams. Why didn't we sign Nico Williams? That's what we needed. We got. Don't get me wrong. I like Raheem Sterling. I do think that it was a mistake taking him off. It was a mistake taking him off. Oh, well, the result today is everything. How can you be happy? How can you be happy? Post your link. Well, no one ever seems to post a link. Didn't think we needed to do anything before half time. Yeah, totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. That's a really good point, isn't it? Because it was just like, oh, we've got to do something. Like, why have you got to go to an extra? Just play with three at the back. God, could have happened. Arteta, for me, has had a shocker today. And we got punished for it. But what do you do about it? What do you do about it? Kivior's pants, poor athleticism, slow footwork, heavily left-footed, can't receive passes at certain angles, and zero character. Don't hold back, social joins. And later on, our special guest will be Kivior's brother and sister. Kivior's time is up. I think everyone knows it. he's not. You know, like there's no. Oh, I watched Pulp Fiction yesterday. Isn't that funny? The twist scene in Pulp Fiction with him and Uma, just so good. When I saw the lineup, I thought it looked pretty good. Why did I started reading that as if I was singing? When I saw the lineup, I thought it looked pretty good, but I can't understand when we're down to 10 to take off Sterling. When we need to pace up front to look, no one's convinced me otherwise. I think we're right, Andy Barbarian. I think most of us agree, don't we? Shouldn't have taken off Sterling. Sterling had that couple of moments where you thought, oh, good, bit of trickery, bit of something. He's got a point to prove. Partey's a good player. Even his best games, we're vulnerable. That off the ball shape is questionable. We're just giving on fouls away. Yeah. Oh, right. Well, what's the? Hang on, then. What I can do? I can run it across the stream. Can't I post a link? I could do it. Let me. My pub, bloody my pub. Do what I want in my pub. The Adams Arms on an evening like this comes into its own. Do we need a quiz question? Would that help us all? Because there are, like it's like any Saturday night, right? There is the pub lock-in where it's a few people sitting around having a good time, good conversation, good banter. Or you could go to the nightclub next door, which is like a thrash metal nightclub where everybody's going, I'm bloody angry. My life's shit now. A lot of it is, I know it's young people as well because get bantered at school. God, yeah, it is shit going to school after you've gotten beaten. You've probably given out that you were easily going to beat Bournemouth. But just imagine if you were a Spurs fan. That'd be every week. Everywhere you go. Yeah, you can do it, mate. Mods 2 can post links generally. Well, I shall then. I shall post them on the beaches. Uno momento, por favor. Talk amongst yourselves. Put something in the jukebox. Do you know what? I can't believe how naive I was. I genuinely thought that I could play bits of music on a live and it wouldn't matter. It does matter. So I can't play any bits of music. I am going to have to just do everything with... Well, look, I tell you what, I can have music on in the background, though. But not music that any of us would like. And I know we've got some connoisseurs in. I'm harsh on Kivior, but when he ducked that shot at Sporting, that's not something. No, listen, you can have a go at Kivior, definitely. I don't think anyone's rushing to defend him. Yeah, dancing is bloody brilliant. I watched it with my two stepsons who'd never seen it before. It was a really joyous thing to watch. They like fortunately, I mean, there are obviously some sort of awkward bits in there, but the oldest is 5 now, so it's quiz question. Who is the oldest player ever to play for Arsenal? Oh, don't do that. No, can't do that. I can't because there'll be like some player in the 30s who's 70. And Alvin now playing with a cigarette hanging out, Yeah, no, I was. That's exactly the tune. To the tune of you're singing comments like that song, My Old Man's Dustman, he wears a dustman's hat. Is there life after this for our Arsenal team? Can we name people who isn't? I think you're going to. No, it's not. Oh, okay, good. All right. Then I'm going to say... How old was Peter Cech? It's not Peter Cech, is it? Good question. Quiz question. Who is the oldest player ever to play for Arsenal? Who's the one who came back? I'm desperately trying to remember who came back. Les Dennis. Who's the who came back and was decently old? Although I say that, he would have still been 20 years younger than me, but you know what I mean. Kivior is our 5th choice, centre-back, not bad for 5th choice. Partey at right-back and Ben White as sub was probably the way to go. Yeah. No, I didn't think of that, but I think that is a better way to go. 100%. I think at a certain point you just go, do you know what? Shirley Valentine, you're thinking of, Dan? Definitely not. Never even seen it, I don't think. Kiwior, yeah, it was a better way to go. Kiwior, yeah, well, it didn't work. So hindsight, exactly what you're saying. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. But then you can also say what you thought you wanted to happen at the time. And for the second half, what I wanted to happen didn't happen. The changes didn't come early enough. The team didn't seem to know how to play with each other. Trossard was a pain in the backside today. And it feels like he's gone a little bit moody. I disagree. Yeah, that, all the things that you said I've agreed with. No, I do see more to come from Martinelli, but I'm happy to accept that it's a question of faith at this point. He hasn't necessarily shown it. But I do rate him, and confidence is everything in football. Confidence is everything in life, right? So what we've seen is a team that just didn't have confidence today. Certainly not when maybe they were a bit lackadaisical before they went down to 10 men, but when they went down to 10 men, the changes were made. They kind of know how they're supposed to play, right? Stupid. Really stupid, and it made me upset. Now I want to only never support the team again. That's what it's just. I'll tell you what it is. It's just the rage. It's just the rage in people that upsets the shit out of me. I don't want parts of our fan base to be as angry as they are. This century. Oh, that's misleading. I don't know from before 90, because players did play longer. It wasn't, is it Pat Jennings? Could it be? No, it wouldn't be Pat Jennings. But it's a keeper I know. Who am I thinking of? Is it Pat Jennings? It's not David O'Leary. Jens Lehmann was 38, right? Is it? Oh, this century. Right, you are, sir. Right, okay. Narrowing the field down quite considerably. May I offer as my first guess? For it is only a guess. What about Thierry Henry? Yeah, no, confidence. He had the easy shot of the game. He did. He very much did. His finishing is not where it needs to be. Unquestionably not. I'd like us to go and sign Nico Williams. Perhaps someone will let us have him early. I don't know. What do you do about it? Thierry Henry. She says to me. Thierry Henry was 38, wasn't he? It's just if there's someone out there that was older than that. Jens Lehmann. I know Jens Lehmann came back just to help out, didn't he? And he played that one game. That's a good bet. I'm sure Jens Lehmann's got to be in the top 5. Thierry Henry, I can't remember if he might not have been as old as all that. Has Giroud. It's annoying, isn't it? 1 week we're all talking about, we're in the Adams Arms talking about, who's the better squad or who's the better first 11, the Invincibles or this current crop of Arsenal players. And then just a couple of weeks later, we're talking about having lost to Bournemouth away. One thing you say about the Invincibles, they didn't lose away. I am sick about it. I'm sick, but who are you going to be angry with? Has anyone switched allegiances now? Does anyone think that now is the time to sack Arteta? Did you not think it was time to sack Arteta? And now you think it's time to sack Arteta? Anyone? I'm not. I'm definitely not in that camp. It wasn't Thierry Henry, but if you're sticking with Jens, Dan, you're right. Yay! Lehmann, 41. Get in. Jens Lehmann. Because he came back, didn't he? Was he 41? Jens Lehmann, best keeper. Great question. Thank you for that. I really enjoyed that. Do it again. Do another one. Do another question. Pub quiz is it's the best way to get over. Wait, that was a convo. I know. Look, social. We know, right? We did we picked players from this era, Arsenal, and did a combined 11. And yeah, it was only 2 Arsenal players that actually got into the team. One of them was Saliba, I think. No, actually, who did get Zanzibar Barbarian? Who got in? I remember we put Raya in and then we took him out again. And then obviously Bukayo Saka was in there. But who else did we have in there? It definitely wasn't any of the front 2. It wasn't Martinelli, Odegaard. Did we just put 2 players in and I forgot? Maybe that's true. Maybe it was just Saka. So yeah, I get it. It was a convo. Haven't you ever been in a pub where people have silly conversations? Well, welcome to the Adams Arm. Get involved because we are having some silly conversations. It's the perfect antidote to all of the people who are having meltdowns like now, who we can all agree are taking life a tiny bit too seriously. Life is quite literally not to be taken this seriously. Who was the second oldest player then? Peter Cech? Wasn't he like 101 or something? Giroud was a bit older. So can I... Yeah. If I had to guess one of those 2, I'd see Peter Cech. Peter Cech. Oh, that's what I was doing. So sorry. I'm getting mightily distracted, you know. 1 second, please. 1 second, caller. Your call is important to us. We just want you to know. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is why I sound so... No, Martin Keown. Do you know, actually, I laughed and then I suddenly thought Martin Keown was probably about 38. Oh, how old was Tony Adams? How old was David Seaborn? Go here sometimes. Go to this. Did I post that link all right? It looks a bit crap, doesn't it? Go here. Oh, it's probably just so shit at YouTube. Sorry, everyone. It's like you got a publican who doesn't know how to change the pumps. I know. You deserve better. All of you deserve better. But yeah, I'm trying to share Miss Melina's YouTube channel. So people go there, subscribe, and watch played between the 1980s and 1990s. The second oldest player, Pat Jennings then. I said it before, wasn't he bloody old? Keepers are old. Dave Seaman, Pat Jennings, he's a goalkeeper. They're all goalkeepers, all the way down. I like it. Miss Melina, I think some people have actually gone now. We just lost some players. No, not at all. My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. I'll try not to clash. The second oldest player. I love these quiz questions. I'm already feeling so much better. I'm looking forward to Shakhtar Donetsk. Not worried at all. Not worried at all. Not worried at all. Oh. How comes you're taking this quiz so seriously? I think that's a good answer. I don't think it's right, but it's a good answer. Yeah, we were harder to beat with Havertz in midfield. Would I have played Havertz in midfield? I don't know. It is, like everyone said so far, really easy to be smart after the event, and I feel that's what I was doing. But just like a lot of people have said it in this in here, you know. No one was happy when they saw the lineup. No, I mean, no one really thought, oh, this is definitely going to do it. Did they? I didn't. But I thought worst case scenario, we'd get a draw. And worse than the worst case scenario was a 2-0 defeat. Honestly, I feel a little bit Spursy when I say this, because there was a little bit of me. I never said it. I wasn't on the show every week going, we're never going to get beaten again. But I was starting to think maybe this would be a season we could go invincible again. It's a really interesting, I mean, it makes for such an interesting conversation, doesn't it? Imagine if we'd gone the whole season unbeaten and still lost this title. Then you mirroring the Invincibles, right? But you still don't win a league. Would people still want Arteta out? And the answer is, of course they would. Everyone hates Arteta. I don't know why some people hate him so much. Chalet Fogarty. Spring chicken or sprung chicken? Jim Carr. Oh, have we not answered this question yet? You haven't. So no one's got this right yet, Zanzi Barbarian. No one's actually answered the second oldest player, Arsenal, this century. You'd think if it wasn't, I mean, so obviously we haven't answered right, because I remember when you asked us who the oldest player was, we got it right, but there were some guesses along the way. So presumably all of those guesses have been wrong. Again, have we really not got it? So it's not Thierry Henry, it's not David O'Leary, it wouldn't have been in. Did you say in the 80s or 90s? They played between the 1980s and 1990s. So in the 80s. Could be Viv. Yeah, Gloria Gaynor. First I was afraid, I was petrified. Oh. Be honest, though, to some degree, this will have shattered your faith in us winning the league, even if it's too early. Too early to tell. I've heard people saying that with a straight face tonight on different podcasts. It's too early to say the season's over. Duh! 8 games in. Yeah. I'm going to the gym. I'm not watching that Shakhtar game. We will play good for one half and then defend in our own half the whole second half, trying to save energy for the Liverpool game. And I hope we do. Is that bad? I don't know. It's just disappointing. Football's disappointing when it's like this. You think, I really honestly started to think maybe, just maybe, we're going to win the league unbeaten this season. It's not happening. Please bear with me a moment. Yes. Whatever next for this young Arsenal team. Tony Woodcock. He was my hero growing up. I thought he was brilliant. He's the only striker out. Yeah, he was good though, Tony. I mean, obviously, don't think he'd get into this side. No. Saliba's not out for 3 games, is he? I thought it was what? How many games will Saliba miss? Is it really 3? I thought that at first, and then someone said it would be 1. Ah, you bugger. Well, at least they're important games. Bloody hell. Well, going by the first internet source, which you will always trust, I'm sure, once you've accepted. Blah, 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 blah. It's a 1-game suspension. Whoo! Like a second yellow. Cool. So there isn't already enough confusion about the rules. Let's just have totally different rules. Second half, we don't even try to bop the ball around. We just defend and let teams attack us. I don't think we need to be this down about it, Social. Like, we haven't started playing well this season. We didn't start playing well last season until later in the season. The season before, we started playing arguably too soon. I don't know. We're committed to this season, aren't we? 1 game if it's 2 yellow cards, yes. But also, they differentiate between being sent off for denying a goal scoring opportunity does not come with a 3-match suspension. It's as if you were given 2 yellow cards. I'm not saying he got 2 yellow cards. I'm just saying that's why. Denying a goal for an obvious goal scoring opportunity means a 1-game suspension in the Premier League, like a second yellow. This will not be served in Tuesday's Champions League fixture. He will therefore miss the Liverpool game. But yeah, no, it is. It's a 1-match suspension. Yay! 1 match. It's the bloody important match, but what are you going to do? What can you do? Young lad, he's acted impetuously. Didn't need to be sent off for it. I'd like, do you know what? At this point, if you told me we'd had 3 sendings off, I'd like to have seen 1. Like, kudos. Did anyone see the West Ham Tottenham game? I didn't. I was going to open the pub for lunchtime, and I thought, you know what, we might need it for the evening instead. So I've done a lock-in for you all. Free drinks. Drinks are free all night. I honestly, it's just like, honestly, whatever else I say, it's just been a bloody disappointing night. But watching Kudus, basically, did anyone see the game where like he's basically on a warpath, he's knocking everyone out, and he got on the pitch, he got a yellow card. I mean, he could have been Martinelli because he basically kicked the bloke when he was on the floor. I can't remember who it was now, but certainly Richarlison walked up behind him and suddenly was struck. And you know what my missus said about it, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. Said, when the players when your own team are walking over you to get to the referee, even they don't think you're really that badly hurt. The 2 players, I don't remember which Tottenham player was on the ground first. But Kudus is running around like a madman, and his yellow card had to be overturned by VAR. They're like, no, he's chilling everyone. he's Yeah, you're right. It's bad. It's shit at the moment, Social. I can't deny it. Run hearts, young free, will never be hung up like my. Why are you something? It's a beautiful song. I can't obviously play it. I think I've probably got a copyright strike because I so faithfully reproduced it just then. I think the YouTube algorithm will go, that's Candy. Wait a minute. Slightly different voice, but it's still the same. He's still vibing. Who's the second youngest player? View. Well, we know who the youngest is. Yeah. First I was afraid. Yeah, both brilliant diva tracks. Second youngest player, I think we know this, don't we? Who was it before Ethan Nwaneri? Wasn't it? Oh God, who was it? It wasn't Cesc. I don't think, was it Cesc? Yeah, I think there probably is a bit of a. I don't think we're liked. I think as Arsenal fans, we'll have to accept that we are not loved. Not by other fans, not by referees. We are not popular. Where were you? How old were you? How many days old were you before you realised Arsenal fans weren't popular? It's quite recent for me. I'll be honest. I'm surprised every time when I hear people going on about how horrible Arsenal fans are, and I think we're bloody brilliant. Refs are on to us. The one good ref we had was Champions League ref. Yep. I'm not mad about the refereeing, but I will keep saying it in case it's not clear, and it must be, surely. I thought Saliba should have been sent off. No difference between you and Kenny Stanton. That's what I've always said. Yeah, that's it. Karaoke. I don't know if karaoke is going to take off in the Adams Arms, but listen, you're all more than welcome to join me and belt one out if you want to. The link, I will always put this link up. If you ever want to be live on the show, call in, whatever, you let me know. It's your pub. Do whatever you want. Just, mind where you wee. Mind where you wee, please. Here's the email address. You email that. I get the email, presumably. I read the email, and I send you a link to be on the show if that's what you want. Then you can sing anything you like, as long as you're not too good, in which case I will get a little bit jealous. But we can cope with that. That's the email address. Scrolling down the bottom, that's technology, by the way. Eldest, not youngest. Yeah, we talked about this. Basically, he's not Howard Webb. He's a clone of Howard Webb. The clone of Howard Webb was texting VAR, tell him to send him off. That power, the power of that. Can you imagine just being able to sit in a match and just get Saliba sent off? But he didn't do anything wrong. He was totally innocent. I want him sent off. Very well, Mr. Webster. I don't think so. But, I don't mind. Yeah, I always wanted to be. No. Not at once. Don't have any jokes, to be honest with you. I think funny people work very hard at it. And no, it's too late. Not. Howard Webb's twin, James. He's a magic with a telescope. I mean, why? Where's this come from? How conspiracy minded are we really? Do we? Is it worth us discussing this? I know this is a friendly place to reveal your innermost thoughts on the subject. Actually, does anyone feel like there is a conspiracy against Arsenal? Is there a conspiracy against Arsenal? I don't think so. I do think bloody dislike us on a level. I think that most referees and opposing fans and we're not popular. They need to get to know us. They need to come to the Adams Arms, be part of it, see our thriving community, see that we're not all frothing at the mouth. Come here, come to Miss Melina's channel, which you'll see posted. I'll pop it in if I remember to, which is not often. I will post a link in the description. What did we think of how Arteta handled the post-match? What did we think of that? I think he did a good match reaction. Oh, do we want to watch some of the meltdowns? Oh, some awful news from Chris Hoy. That is some days are just shitty, huh? Some days are just sad. Yeah. I mean, we've definitely run into some shit referees, no question about that. I'm trying to remember that specific incident. Goodness, I can't. What would cheer us up? How do I cheer us up? I want it to be, obviously, I know, Rosie, you're not uncheered up. What would make it all better? Should I find us a pub quiz question? Because Zanzibar Barbarian, you've not answered ours. Should we look at some live streams, people losing their shit? See some reactions. everyone's pissed off, you know. Do you think there are just days like that? Well, I just felt it. I woke up, I was in a malaise. Yeah, there is definitely. Look, I don't want to. I agree with you, Zanzibar Barbarian. What I interpret you to be saying is that there is a distinct lack of consistency amongst decisions in the Premier League. Yeah, so true. If you made a dance routine to a step song, go on then. I don't know if I'm your man for dance routines. I've had a bad back today, and I mustn't dance. The doctor's not permitting me to dance until I'm better. God, you know, Saliba, is that his first red card? I don't remember another red card for Saliba. He's a silly boy. He's a very silly boy, and he's cost us game all by himself. We should still have gone after Bournemouth. We all know that. There's so many fans of other clubs now going to just jump on this bandwagon and go, ha, 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 you should have done this, you should have done that. Like, we don't know. We don't know. We shouldn't have just gone trying to hold on to a draw when we went down to 10 men. Or my favorite joke. It takes ages to tell, and I'm not going to be telling it here. But anyone got a good joke? That's a really good idea. Anyone have a good joke they don't mind spending ages typing so I can murder it? My delivery may not be good enough for many people's good jokes. Dance routine to a step song. Do I know any step songs? I want to say 1, 2, 3. Isn't there one where they're counting? I seem to remember there's one when they're counting. I don't know. What is the best way to cheer ourselves up when everything's a little bit shit? Football-wise, that is. Because I don't know, actually, how were the rest of our days, people? How were the rest of our days? Was it just football? Did we all just... I think we need to remember to stay humble. I think only by staying humble can we get the best out of the situation. I did say John Lukic. Everything's permissible on YouTube, Zanzibar Barbarian. I'm on here. Stay humble is on here. Remember, staying the humble. I'm absolutely convinced that we're going to win the league. I said I'd do it, and I'm not going to be one of these fickle fans. I'm not doing that where you come in and you say, we're definitely going to win the league. And then you lose to Bournemouth and you go, we're definitely not, even though obviously makes it statistically less likely that we will. Our first joke is in Joke Olympics here, and it is Rosie. 2 deaf guys. No, I better read this first. Hang on a minute. I'm taking that off. Wait there. Wait there. Uh-huh. Okay, so far so good. 2 deaf guys stop off in a pub one night on the way home from their lip reading class. Long communicating by using their new lip reading skills. One offers to buy the drinks and gives the money to the... That's one of the problems with a Telegram joke, as you can see. I must know some quick funny jokes. I can't think of any. I can never think of any. So there you go. God, what a bleak day, isn't it? Shit when we lose. God damn it. I just... Ugh. Yeah. Gives to the... Oh, replies the deaf guy. What sort of music? Is it rock and roll, boogie woogie? No, replies the barman. Hang on, did I miss a bit? Oh, replies, I think I've missed a bit. Rosie, I think there may be a part of your joke. Oh, God, I can't believe I put that up even for a fraction of a second. Too soon. I didn't know who this guy was. Apparently, he's very famous. I know who One Direction are. Rosie, I'm sure there's a bit of your joke missing. Look, that's how it ended. Okay. I'm going to destroy you. I am the destroyer of many jokes. I don't get it. I'll post it. Maybe it's just me. It's just me, isn't it? I'm not posting the One Direction joke, Dazzler. It's too soon. I just got that. I just got it. That I just got. I'm so slow. Don't post jokes. No, I won't read them out. You post them, but apparently you've got some from Preston. I got it because I read Country and Western again, but I'm sure there's still a bit of your joke missing. But thank you. And Dazzler, you have somebody who enjoyed your joke in the form of Sandy Barbarian. Right. I don't have any other jokes. I fucking just saw a picture of... it hurts. It's a horrible feeling waking up tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Obviously Man City will lose to Wolves 3-2. Did we say, Rosie? I'm doing that as my silly bet. Liverpool-Chelsea, another good game. Is Pep Guardiola leaving Manchester City? Will he please piss off now? Monumentally overstayed his welcome in this country, as far as I'm concerned, if he won't take the England job. I think if Pep Guardiola doesn't want to take the England job, that's it. Get out. What was Brexit for anyway? Arteta would have taken it. Did anyone else see that when Arteta was being asked if he nearly played for England? Bloody hell. Yeah. Oh, there's nothing good going on. Educated joke for you. Two men walk into a bar. What can I get you? Man one, I'll have an H2O. Man two, that sounds good. I'll have an H2O2. H2O2 is carbon dioxide. Is that right? No. No, it would just be CO2 too. I don't get chemistry. How did you think I would get chemistry? Ooh, I've got a joke. Yes. Let us hear it. Was a teenage wedding and the old folks wish them well. I'm gonna look up for some match reactions. Arsenal match reactions. I haven't seen any of these yet. Has anyone seen the match reactions? Hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, there's going to be one next. I should have been able to work it out because... No, I shouldn't actually. What am I talking about? Hydrogen peroxide. Oh, dyes. Dyes as in dyes his hair. Am I overthinking it? Yeah, definitely overthinking it. That's what I do. I can't wait. Do you know what? I can't wait to see what Troops has said to that. Is there any chance at all that Troops won't be furiously angry? I'm not. Like, you're allowed to be angry. What good it does, I don't know. I'm not sure why people choose to be so pissed off about things, but it's your prerogative. Here at the Adams Arms, everyone is allowed to be ticked off about literally everything all the time. Okay, I'm going to do this. William Saliba gets shot. Oh, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I know this joke. I will do this joke. Nun is in a bath. A chap at the door. Nun says, "Yes. Who is it?" Clapping, I guess. Tapping. Anyway, guy says it's the blinds guy. Come in, my child, says the nun. Guy walks in and says, "Nice tits. Where do you want your blinds hung?" And she says, "Never mind the blinds." I know, because think about it. Even if the guy says he's blind, you don't just say, "Oh, come in." And yeah, I'm overthinking everything at the moment. So much anger. People are genuinely pissed off, aren't they? Yeah, I'm just watching. Yeah, I was dissecting into it. It doesn't need to be. I know, totally ruining it. Do you ever find yourself getting into one of those moods, I should say? I'm watching Troops. It's quite clear from watching the. I'll share it with you. No one was happy when Saliba got sent off. It will shock no one to learn.
Suck your mum. Suck your mum, ref. Suck your mum. A million times. Saliba's gone. Bro, Saliba. And just like that, you're now not playing against Liverpool.
Bam. Big right hand to the jawline.
Sending him off. I don't believe this. Unbelievable.
I think I was wrong. Come on, guys. Like, when you saw Saliba, I know I sort of already sensed that some of you completely disagreed with me. When Saliba was sent off, did any of you actually think, "Oh, that's harsh"? I don't think I did. Last man. I know. Bless him. I know. There are some great phrases. Deluded's come up with one. I want to see Troops lose it, actually.
Oh my God, he's going to send him. I told you not. What did I tell you not? What did I tell you not? What?
I don't know. Whatever he tells you, though, you'd probably hear it. You know? Like, I mean, he's voluble, isn't he? What did I tell you lot? What did I tell you lot? What did I tell you lot? It's almost, I think this should be cut into a song, shouldn't it? Like, this dance music.
What did I tell you lot?
What did I tell you lot? What did I tell you lot? Maybe the Saliba sending off will deter Real Madrid from buying him. Yeah, he's not going to Real Madrid. Everyone calm yourselves. Oh, I've gone a little bit.
Why did he do that?
Why did he do that? Why indeed? Why did he do that? Let's shout.
Look how high up your pitch you are.
Look at that. Look at how high up the pitch you are.
Look how now he's out for Liverpool. Oh.
And the realization that William Saliba will miss the game against Liverpool.
Oh my days. Oh my.
There can have been very few times when any of us have received news as terrifyingly bad as this. As you can see, It's very hard to take in.
Days he's missing Liverpool. Oh my days, he's missing Liverpool, blood. Oh my days. Oh my days.
Not quite a meltdown, but it is still a little bit like quiet contemplation, perhaps, would.
Oh
My
my
days.
Oh
my
God.
days.
My
Oh,
life.
God, my life, my
He's
days, my
missing
God.
Liverpool,
He's
blood.
missing Liverpool.
He's sending him off.
I never watch this guy,
Oh
but I
my
see him
God,
on
he sent
these.
him off. Saliba.
Yes, that's who got sent off. Indeed. Just lots of meltdowns. Lots and lots of meltdowns. Back to Curtis. If he wasn't happy, I didn't show him, did I? Oh, yes, please do play this game. It's amazing, and it's exactly like this, and it's beautiful. Get out of it. Thanks for coming, Dazzler82. Hope to see you again soon. All the best.
It's 1-0 to Bournemouth. It's a seaside resort. We're losing to Skegness. Final over. Lock it off. I'll see you next season. This is an NBA channel from now on. Tuesday NBA tip-off. Lock the...
It's a bit of an overreaction, though, isn't it? Like, just what? We lost one game. It is just a lot. The last guy said, yeah, it was cool. We'll see him again anyway, I'm sure.
season off.
Imagine if that's all it took. I'm a committed Arsenal fan. I am a supporter. I'm there for the team. Come on, come hell or high water. Oh, we lost against Bournemouth. Right, that's it. This is now an NBA pub. I'm not doing football anymore. I never liked it. Next. We know he's just speaking in the moment, and he knows a lot about football, more than me, let's say. So he's allowed.
They will never learn, and they don't deserve to win.
Can you imagine if you've got someone like this in your corner? You know, if you fuck up once.
Win the league title. What are you clapping? He was a rubbish player. Look at the corner. I mean, that is Barcelona levels. We're meant to have the best set piece, coach. I've just watched the best set piece of the season.
Oh, wow. I didn't think it was that good. But, you know, fair enough. This guy, what was he called? Developer. Not obviously deluded. We love.
Strike 1-0 Bournemouth lead. Took them all over 70 minutes.
Kind of normal.
That Martinelli chance at the other end now feels a whole lot worse. Beautiful finish by Christie.
I'm going to say, I was totally not expecting that. Honestly, that was a really mature, level-headed reaction. God knows what he said afterwards. I can't believe he's going to stay that level. It's a seaside town. Brilliant. That is my favourite line so far.
You're an season over.
Season
over. Forget it. Absolute shambles. Absolutely disgraceful. This is the worst game I've seen.
Disgraceful. That always is. You don't like if we did bingo here at the Adams Arms, bingo on reactions. If you have, if you've got disgrace on your card on a losing night, you know it's going to come up. People love to use the word disgrace, to bring shame on the actions of those players today. Brought shame on all of us. These two, look at these. This could be an album cover. I love it. I just love it. Actually, I've got to play it. I love it. That is beautiful. There's so much despair in that picture.
Going to the right. Yeah, 2-0. I told you he was going to the right.
Well, it's either right or the left. I don't know if you get. Let's chat with the hair.
David Raya against Justin Kluivert, who will want this goal.
I-
David Raya. Go on, son. You can.
Do you know what? Zanzibar Barbarian, thank you. Was that in the last one? I didn't even see that. I blame our third kit exactly. Exactly. It's the third kit. It's crap. I don't think we should ever burn it. Burn it, and where it is burned, salt the land, that nothing may grow there. That is just the worst kit I've ever seen us play in. I've never seen us play in a worse kit than that. Is there a worse kit in world football than the one? It's got to play a part, man. It's got to play. Imagine if it's just an awful. It's a catastrophe. A catastrophe. Try to veal. I'm here all week. All right, let's listen to you, man. Rosie's like, I want to hear what he has to say.
Save that. You can save that. He's gonna go to your right. He's gonna go left, but he's gonna go to your right. Is he double bluffing you? No, I think he's actually going there. He's double bluffing you. 2-0, game over, whatever. I haven't even changed the score.
That's it. That's better. That's whatever. He's winning at the moment. That's the reaction we wanted. How's Troops coping?
Must have breeded his gal because he's done the child celebration. Game done, game over. Yep, call it a night, blood. Call it a night. Let's just yep. Arsenal fans, go home. Arsenal fans, go home. Don't wait. Go home now. Yeah, beaten.
Yeah, all right. Cheers for that. Imagine, I just always think, I know it's different on YouTube. I haven't done an Arsenal live stream, despite the clamour for me to do so. I haven't done one. I nearly did. This was the game I was going to do first, but you know what put me off? It was bloody bubblegum kit. I couldn't face it. I just had a bad feeling about it all the time. I got a feeling. Oh, Bournemouth, though, still. Mr. DT, who I don't really watch anymore, or ever, never really watched him anyway, but VAR is re-refereeing the game, says his video. How sad did they look on anyone else ever watched the Canon podcast? They just looked so sad, dejected. Everywhere I look, it's just sad and dejected. Unforgivable from Leandro Trossard. Rory Jennings slams idiotic mistake. Yeah, it's a stupid thing to do. I thought it was certainly a very disappointing performance from Leandro Trossard. When I think of his seeming protest at not being played, then never mind protesting, you've got to step up, haven't you? This is a shitty night. Lots and lots of reasons for it. Just some days are just sad. I'm calling it a night as well, Rosie. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure to see you. Zanzibar Barbarian, all of you. Dazzler, Miss I've posted a link, Miss Melina. Please, everyone go and check out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I will remember to post a link in the description either before I go to bed shortly or upon waking up. Good night. Even before Saliba got sent off, I couldn't see us scoring. And when Saliba was sent off, I thought we'd probably lose. When we went 1-0 down, I stopped watching. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Say good for you, say bad for me. We lost to Bournemouth. Did you see that? When the Arsenal fans started singing in the first half, you've only come to see the Arsenal. And then in the second half, the Bournemouth fans are singing, you've only come to see Bournemouth. I just thought, oh, well. Everybody deserves these moments of joy that we give them when we shit away. Yes, let us leave it a rousing speech to remind us what it's all about. We happy few here at the Adams Arms, who know the great joy of victory must be paid for on the way by some sadness. Nothing is good forever. but this is not the end, nor is it the end of the beginning. It's not even mid-season. Everyone chill out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Either, you can maybe go back and perhaps watch something else. Watch one of the shorts I did to be amusing. Some of them are amusing, And look, thanks for being together. Thanks for keeping your temper. Some great points made. Great pub quiz. Fantastic to see you all. Until I see you again, lots of love. Be lucky. Luckier than William Saliba.